For Angry Birds, the Parabolic Edition, Redbird, Yellowbird, Bluebird, and Blackbird are angry with the pigs. The pigs stole the birds' eggs. The birds want their eggs back and will stop at nothing to get them back. The flight of the path of the birds can be modeled with a parabola. So we're going to graph the flight of our birds, and we're going to use x as the distance and y as the height. You have multiple parts to this project. The first part is individual. You have your paper that has your bird on it, and it has the equation either in standard form or vertex form that models the flight of your bird. So on your paper, you first need to graph it, and you need to make sure it looks really nice. So you can either graph it straight on the paper, or you can graph it on a piece of graphing paper and then cut it out and stick it on your paper. Also on there, I need you to answer these questions. What is the maximum height your bird flew? And what is the total distance your bird traveled? There's space at the bottom of your page that has a few questions. You need to put your axis of symmetry in there. You need to put your intercepts in there. And then you also need to say whether or not the bird hit the pigs. And I will get to that in just a moment. I need to see all your calculations, so they need to be done neatly on your paper. And like I said, this part is you doing this individually. After you do that, you're going to answer these questions as a group. So you'll get together as a group, and you're going to answer the questions, whose bird flew the highest and whose bird traveled the farthest. And then make sure you include evidence for this. You're going to put this on a big poster for your team or for your group. And so you're going to graph each of your birds on that big poster also. You're going to put it all together, and then you're going to put on there who went the highest and who went the farthest. You need some kind of evidence. So you can use the graphs as evidence, or you can write your numbers down and say which one was the highest and which was the farthest. Now, the part about the pigs is you need to figure out which bird hit the following pigs. So we have king pig that was located at the point 39, and we have mustache pig who is located at the point 44. So on your individual paper, you need to say whether or not you hit one or both of those pigs. And then as a group, you also need to say who hit those. And it needs to be shown. So I want to see your pigs on your individual graph, and I want to see the pigs on the group graph, on the group poster. So once you do all this and you have a poster that looks beautiful, you're going to create a stop motion video with your group that animates the flight of each of your birds. So I need to see each of the birds moving. So just for a brief timeline so that you see how this is going to go, this activity has now been introduced. The groups have been formed, and a game plan has been made. You need to work individually on your part, your individual part, and you need to have it complete by Monday, November 27th. So you have 1 week to get your part done, and it needs to come to class completed. Then on Monday, November 27th, you're going to work on your group stuff together. So you're going to have one class period where you need to make your poster and then make your video. This whole project is due that following Friday, so Friday, December 1st. When it's due, you need to turn in your individual work, you need to turn in your group's poster, and then your stop motion video will be turned into Canvas. So on your poster, like I said, I need to see the flight of the path or the flight of your birds. I also need to see the answers to those questions. I don't necessarily need to see the axis of symmetry, but I do want to see your points still on each of your parabolas. And then it needs to be decorated. I'm going to have some Angry Bird stickers for you that you can use for your birds and for the pigs and for maybe some other decorations. But I also need you to make it pretty. Make it personalized for you. All right, moving on to the back of your instructions page. I have some checklists for you just so that you can kind of keep track of everything. For the individual work, you need to make sure that your individual work was done on the page that I provided you, that colored page, and it includes your graph. I need the axis of symmetry, I need the vertex, I need the intercepts, and I need the pigs all clearly labeled on there. I need questions and answers. I don't need you to write the questions, and I'm actually going to change this. You do not need to write your answers in full sentences. At the spot at the bottom of your colored page, you can just write the answers in there. But I do still need to see your work, and I need to see your calculations. And then your page needs to be artistic, neat, and organized. For your poster as a group needs to have some kind of title. Make it pretty, make it colorful. You need to include a big graph with all of the birds' paths together. On the graph, like I said, I need to see the vertex, I need to see the intercepts, and I need to see the pigs. I need to see the answers to those 2 questions on your poster. Once again, it does not need to be full sentences. I've changed that, but it needs to be clear who went the highest, who went the farthest, who hit the birds. And you need to have your evidence on there. It needs to be decorated. Make it pretty. Give it a theme. Have some colors in there. Make sure it's thoughtfully planned. And then make sure it's organized. So it needs to be neat. It needs to be legible. Take your time on it. Make it pretty. And then presentation. When I say presentation, I'm talking about the video. The checklist for that is your video needs to include the flight of each of the birds. I want to see the collision of the bird and the pig. I want to see that, or I need to be able to see that it's organized, neat, and accurately portraying the birds. And then you need to save it correctly and you need to turn it into Canvas for me. And then below that, this is just a rubric that kind of outlines how this will be graded. So there's 5 points for each category, and there's 4 different categories. So this is a total of 20 points. I'm grading you on individual work, so just that your calculations are correct. Your individual page, so that how much of your checklist, of that checklist that I gave you is completed. I'm grading you on the group poster and the video. Now these are going to be graded similarly. I will give the group a grade for the poster and for the video, but if I can tell that one person is really slacking or one person is maybe really carrying the team, then I will grade it on a more individual basis. But if I can tell that about an equal amount of work was put in, then everybody on the team will get about the same grade for the poster and the video. All right, so let me show you an example of the poster. This is going to be a little blurry, but this is kind of what I'm talking about with the group poster. Notice that each of the birds' paths are on here, and notice that the pigs are on there. I'm planning on just having plain white paper for you, so you are going to have to create a little bit of a graph. You don't need to have all the grid lines on there unless you want to put them on really lightly. But make sure it's color-coded. Notice that this is missing a few things because this poster is a little different than what I want. I want a title on there, and I want some information. You need to tell me whose was the highest, who was the farthest, who hit the pigs, and give me an explanation why, or some kind of evidence. And then lastly, the most exciting part is the video that you're going to make. You're going to use the app called Koma Koma. It's Koma Koma, and it's going to make a stop motion video. A stop motion video is one that you like take a picture and then take another picture, and it shows the movement. It creates it into a video. So here's a portion of an example of a video that you can have. So notice that showed the flight of the bird. It showed the collision with the pig. It was done in an artful way. Just make sure, like I said, this is a portion of the video. I want to see all of the bird's flights. That is part of the checklist for that. That's about it for these instructions. If you still have questions about this, let me know. Either email me or come talk to me at school.